Hey guys, today I'm supposed to be checking out the rest of Sydney. I'm supposed to be getting on a ferry. Might go check out an observation deck. Might also go and check out Luna Park if I get the time. It's currently, I think, about midday. It's about 23 degrees today. Quite humid though, which is not ideal, but well, it should be a good day. Come with us.
This day in Sydney, I decided I would walk around to get a better idea of what was actually around me. This also meant that if I needed to find my way home, I'd be able to.
Pretty sure that is where we're going.
On my way to the observation deck, I stumbled across St Mary's Cathedral, which I'd passed last night in the cab home. The Cathedral Church and minor basilica of the Immaculate Mother of God, Help of Christians, colloquially St Mary's Cathedral, is the cathedral church of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Sydney and the seat of the Archbishop of Sydney. It is dedicated to the Immaculate Mother of God, Help of Christians, patroness of Australia, and holds the title and dignity of a minor basilica bestowed upon it by Pope Pius XI on the 4th of August 1932. St Mary's has the greatest length of any church in Australia, although it is neither the tallest nor the largest overall. It's located on College Street, in the heart of Sydney, where, despite the high-rise development of the Sydney Central Business District, its imposing structure and twin spires make it a landmark from every direction. In 2008, St Mary's Cathedral became the focus of World Youth Day and was visited by Pope Benedict XVI, who consecrated the new forward altar. Archbishop Paulding laid the foundation stone for the present cathedral in 1868. It was to be a huge and ambitious structure with a wide nave, an aisle, and 3 towers. Paulding did not live to see it in use, as he died in 1877. 5 years later, on the 8th of September 1882, his successor, Archbishop Vaughan, presided at the dedication mass. Archbishop Vaughan gave the peal of the bells, which were rung for the first time on that day. The cathedral's builder was John Young, who also built a large sandstone house in Gothic Revival style, known as the Abbey, in Annandale, New South Wales. But St Mary's was still far from finished. In 1913, Archbishop Kelly laid the foundation stone for the nave. As St Mary's was built in different stages, you can still to this day see a slight difference of colour and texture of the sandstone on the internal walls. These mark the divisions between the first and second stage of building. The decoration and enrichment of the cathedral continued with the remains of Archbishop Vaughan, being returned to Sydney and buried within the chapel of the Irish Saints. The richly decorated crypt, which enshrines the bodies of many of the early priests and bishops, was not completed until 1961, when it was dedicated by Cardinal Gilroy. For many years, the 2 squared-off towers of the facade gave a disappointing appearance to an otherwise elegant building. It was from time to time suggested pinnacles should be put up to match the central tower, as it appeared plain that the proposed spires would never be built. But with the assistance of a grant from the government to mark the new millennium, the spires were eventually built in 2000.
That was a bit of an impromptu stop on the way to the observation deck, really. But wow, if you get the chance to go to St Mary's Cathedral, definitely do it. It's, as you can see, absolutely breathtaking inside and outside. It's huge. It even has its own little gift shop, totally free to go into. They just ask that you don't disturb anyone that is making prayer, because it is a functioning church, and it would be nice if you leave a donation as well, of just a gold coin or whatever. But yeah, if you definitely, if you get the chance, definitely head out. Fantastic, it really is. It actually feels like a European cathedral. It is incredible. I've been to Westminster Abbey, and this thing is It's up there. It's up there. Considering it's an Australian church, it's definitely up there.
Mass times at St Mary's Cathedral are as follows. On weekdays, 6:45 AM, 10 past 1 in the afternoon, and 5:30 PM. Saturdays, 9 AM, 10 past 12 in the afternoon, and 6 PM vigil. On Sundays, 7 AM, 9 AM, 10:30 AM, and 6 PM. And on public holidays, 12 o'clock noon. Directly across the road from the cathedral is the oldest public parkland in Australia. It's a 16.2 hectare or 40-acre park in the CBD of Sydney. Hyde Park is on the eastern side of the Sydney city centre. It is the southernmost of a chain of parkland that extends north to the shore of Sydney Harbour via the Domain and Sydney's Royal Botanic Gardens. Hyde Park is approximately rectangular in shape, being squared at the southern end and rounded at the northern end. It is bordered on the west by Elizabeth Street and on the east by College Street, on the north by St James Road and Prince Albert Road, and on the south by Liverpool Street. Around the park's boundaries lie the Supreme Court of New South Wales, St James Church, Hyde Park Barracks, and Sydney Hospital to the north, St Mary's Cathedral, the Australian Museum, and Sydney Grammar School to the east, the Downing Centre to the south, and David Jones Limited flagship store and the CBD to the west. It is divided in two by the east to west running Park Street.
I actually had to film myself walking up those stairs twice, because the first time I was running up them and then tripped over and face planted.
It is famed for its magnificent fig tree-lined avenues. Hyde Park was named after the original Hyde Park in London. The park is pock-marked with drain lids, many of which led down to Busby's Bore, the first large-scale attempt at a water source system after backing up the tank stream, the Sydney colony's primary water source. Busby's Bore was built between 1827 and 1837 using convict labour and fresh water from Lachlan Swamp, now known as Centennial Park. From the very early days of the colony, the open area to the southeast of the settlement was a favourite place for sport and recreation. It was known variously as the Common, the Exercising Ground, the Cricket Ground, and the Racecourse. On the 13th of October 1810, Governor Macquarie separated the area from the Domain to the north, named it Hyde Park, and dedicated it for recreation and amusement of the inhabitants of the town and a field of exercises for the troops. He kept the domain for his own exclusive use. What you've just seen was the ANZAC Memorial, completed in 1934. It is the main commemorative military monument of Sydney. The memorial is located at the southern extremity of Hyde Park, and it is the focus of commemoration ceremonies on Anzac Day, Remembrance Day, and other important occasions. It was built as a memorial to the Australian Imperial Force of World War I. Fundraising for a memorial began on the 25th of April 1916. The first anniversary of the Australian New Zealand Army Corps, landing at Anzac Cove for the Battle of Gallipoli. It was opened on the 24th of November 1934 by His Royal Highness Prince Henry, Duke of Gloucester. After spending a total of nearly 2 hours getting lost in Hyde Park, the ANZAC Memorial, looking at St Mary's Cathedral, and even the memorial to the Aboriginal people of Australia, I figured it was probably time that I should continue on the road to find my way to Sydney Tower, the viewing deck that I've been trying to get to all day, as I had a deadline that I had to be back in order to make it to my cousin's birthday bye.
Proving rather difficult to find. I believe we need to go up to the 7th floor, the Sky Lobby, and find out how we actually get up. Turns out I need to be on level 5, not level 7.
Hey travellers, thanks for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of day 2 in Sydney. Check out the next episode to check out the Sky Tower. Be sure to like and subscribe. And until then, as always, this is an Aussie Abroad, signing off.